Welcome back to GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is Monday, April 14th, if you were just tuning in. We just finished going over everything you need to know about Black Monday in the NBA. Coaches have been fired, executives have been moved off of. In this segment, we take a look at the awards voting in the NBA. Who is going to win each and every single award? We'll go over all the major ones in just a second, but before we do, remember, if you would like to be an even bigger part of the show than you already are, all you need to do is go to gsmcpodcast.net. Or if you're on YouTube, you can use that super chat feature. If you do either of those two things, a message should pop up on the bottom of the screen for you, me, and everybody else around the world to see. If you do have a burning question about sports, anything at all that you would like to ask, go ahead and throw that in the comments. Throw it in the chat. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. I appreciate everybody so much for sticking around, talking some sports with me here on a beautiful Monday, April 14th. But like I was saying, we are going to get a little bit here into what's going on with the NBA awards. We, of course, have a couple really tight races for some of the awards. The MVP is interesting. The Defensive Player of the Year award is wide open. I think there's some argument you could make for the sixth man. You could make an argument potentially for Coach of the Year and Most Improved Player there. These are all really interesting awards. Some of these are dead set with the answer, right? Rookie of the Year, for instance, we'll start with Stephon Castle from the Spurs. He's going to win that award. This was not the strongest rookie class by any stretch of the imagination. I think you'd be insane if you thought it was. But Stephon Castle really has raised himself above the rest of the fodder there. There's some solid rookies that I think could turn out to be something. We take a look at some of the Grizzlies rookies. We take a look at some of the Wizards rookies that have stepped up recently. These guys are going to be solid pros, but there aren't really anybody, there at least after 1 year, that I look at and I say, that guy is going to be a star. Stephon Castle, though, has separated himself from the rest of the rookie class, and I think him absolutely a lock for Rookie of the Year. Another one that I think is a lock, Clutch Player of the Year, Jalen Brunson. There's no one else that I think comes really close this year. This award, it's not one that I think is too big of a deal, but Jalen Brunson has that one locked up. As well as Executive of the Year going to Rob Pelinka for the Luka trade. He wins that one pretty easily, I think. And the last one that I think is a lock, although some people might have different answers, I can understand it, is the Coach of the Year. I think Kenny Atkinson for the Cavs is an absolute lock. He did the hardest thing that there is to do in the sport of basketball. He took a good Cavs team, a team that had the 4 seed last year in the East, into a great Cavs team, and he didn't even really change the roster to do it. Obviously, the trade deadline, they brought in DeAndre Hunter, but outside of that, this is a very similar Cavs team. They've got the same big 3, big 4 that they had leading them last season with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. You had a big improvement from a lot of these guys. Darius Garland, of course, took a huge leap this year, made his first All-Star game. But Kenny Atkinson, I think, is the Coach of the Year. You can talk to me about J.B. Bickerstaff, what he did with the Pistons. Of course, former head coach of the Cavs last year, kind of took him to a very similar spot as the Cavs were, and I think he did an excellent job. But the real question for J.B. Bickerstaff is, can he take them past this point? He wasn't able to do that with this Cavs team. Maybe he can do it with the Pistons. The Lakers and J.J. Redick deserve a little bit of credit on here as well, but I just don't think he's got the juice for it this year. Again, J.J. Redick was absolutely a great hire for the Lakers, no doubt about it. But I just don't think he's in the same tier as Kenny Atkinson or J.B. Bickerstaff. So at the end of the day, it's Kenny Atkinson's award, although I will hear arguments for J.B. Bickerstaff. Going back to the top here, we'll take a look at the MVP. This one also seems like a bit of a lock to me. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Thunder is going to win this award. Nikola Jokic deserved the award. So does SGA. This is a very similar kind of argument to the one that was going on in football this year. Both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson deserve the award. They both put up amazing numbers, MVP-style numbers. But at the end of the day, one guy is going to win it and one guy isn't. And I think SGA has proven himself different. He has raised the ceiling of the Thunder, which I think is super important. Jokic, the third player ever to average a triple-double. Amazing season. He's won a lot of MVPs already, and voter fatigue is a real part of it. I think Jokic, again, has the better counting stats other than in the points category, right? SGA, a prolific scorer this year. We can talk about being a free throw merchant. He really isn't. He just drives so much more than everybody else. He gets this basically the same whistle when you go at drives per amount of free throw attempts. When you put that on a graph, he's right in line with where he should be with everybody else in the NBA. He just drives way more often than everybody else. SGA is the MVP this year. I think one that's super interesting is the most improved player. And this is where we need to figure out the distinction, right? It's not comeback player of the year, right? So you're not going to go out and get an injured player like it is in the NFL to win it. But there's a couple really interesting arguments I've heard. Of course, Dyson Daniels seemed like the guy that's in charge here. Him on the Hawks, he leads the league in steals. Denny Avdia, after being traded from the Wizards to the Blazers, really stepped up as the guy that was keeping them in it down the stretch. They were in a bit of a playoff chase there, which was exciting for the Blazers. I love Denny Avdia as well. Those guys I think should fight for the award. But there's one more name that has been thrown around a little bit that I think is interesting in this one specifically, and that's Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was the number one overall pick, but he really exploded into the guy this year. Whether that be because of coaching or because he developed finally this year, there's a lot of people that are heated about him. He is someone that I very easily could see winning this award. There is a massive jump. He is very improved, but he's also a former number one overall pick. And that's something that I think is really interesting to have this discussion about, right? Is it most improved player? Does it have to be someone that, you weren't expecting? Cade Cunningham's supposed to be this good. He went number one overall, but he still improved himself to this level, right? Nobody would have put Cade Cunningham as high up on the list as we all are now last season. Nobody would have done that. They would have been like, oh, he's got the chance to do it, but nobody would have actually put him there. He's done it now. He has risen to a superstar in this league, an all-star, someone that led a team to the playoffs as their main offensive engine. Cade Cunningham is someone that I think deserves this award. And I understand. Again, I do. I understand if you don't think he deserves this award. But Cade Cunningham is my most improved player of the year. He improved to a superstar. Again, he's supposed to be this. He's supposed to be that. Busts exist in the NBA. There's numerous number one overall picks that went number one overall picks that turned out to be nothing in the NBA. Having a big jump like this in your third season is huge. And I think Cade Cunningham deserves to be rewarded for it. The Sixth Man of the Year award, I think, goes to Peyton Pritchard. Again, not much of a discussion. He really stepped it up this year. He deserves that award for the Celtics. And the last big one that I wanted to talk about here for you was the Defensive Player of the Year. This one is the most wide open. You can talk about Evan Mobley, who was kind of second place behind Victor Wembanyama. Then Victor Wembanyama goes down, changing everything, right? He kind of took a step back in the second half. Could still be him after a dominant first half, but he did take a little bit of a step back in the second half. Amen Thompson for the Rockets is really interesting. That Rockets defense was one of the best in the league. They had a lot of active hand steals all across the top of that defense. Amen Thompson is an athlete amongst athletes, and Amen Thompson is someone that helped lead the Rockets to one of the best defenses in the NBA. He's up there as well as Draymond Green, and I think Draymond Green's case is really interesting. He, in the second half, helped lead the Warriors to the third best defense in the NBA. He's the quarterback of that defense. He's a very good defender. He's someone that could win it as well. I'm leaning towards Draymond in this one. I know that might feel like a second half award kind of thing, but a lot of these things are. A lot of things are how you finish rather than, how you were in the middle of the season. And I just don't think Evan Mobley carried that momentum enough. JJJ didn't do it. And I think Amen Thompson, as a young guy, a young guard, it's hard to win as a guard. It really is. I think Draymond Green ends up taking this award home. He wins Defensive Player of the Year. So once again, we'll go through my awards real quick. Kind of did a little bit out of order for you. The MVP is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green. Rookie of the Year is Stephon Castle. Coach of the Year, Kenny Atkinson. Most improved player, I'm going with Cade Cunningham. Sixth man is Peyton Pritchard. And the clutch player of the year of the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who do you have winning all of these awards? I'd love to hear what you think. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we finish off our show talking a little bit about the transfer portal. It opens in 2 days, but the big story, Nico Iamaleava in the portal officially. We talked a bit about it on Friday. Where might he go? How is this going to change the way that college football is? And how is this affecting the NIL things that are going on right now in an ever-changing landscape? We'll be right back here on GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast.